Hi there, welcome to another video with me, Charles, working with WM Guitars. Hopefully you enjoyed the nice little jam at the beginning. Today we are featuring the DOD Envelope Filter 440. Now, I've had so much fun with this pedal today, filming this video. So just before we get on to any of the details, this being powered again by the Ernie Volt. Really nice little power supply, small footprint, really solid construction. And provides 4 outputs of 300 milliamps to power 9-volt DC. So basically, it's a really nice option for small compact pedal boards for on the go, that kind of thing. As I said, I wouldn't want to drop that thing on my foot. It's super solid for its size, and it's just a one plug-in, so it's a really nice small footprint. Anyway, on to the pedal. So the construction is super rigid and solid, just like the rest of it. So it's aluminium chassis, 9-volt supply at the top, which is a really nice thing for like all of these pedals. It's got true bypass, so it doesn't affect your signal as it goes through. Even though it's an aluminium chassis, so basically because it is lighter than what you'd expect the pedal to be, but it is very solid. So if you were to accidentally drop it or kick it about or anything like that, it's gonna survive. Anyway, looking at it, we have 2 knobs on here, which you know, we have a level and a range, and we have this little switch here for what's called the voice. Now I'll explain what that does in a second. Now the actual switch itself, let's do a quick test, which is what I need to do with all of the pedals. So have a little listen. Okay, the fact that you can hear that click means that, and it's also a very satisfying click, means that is a good pedal. That is a good pedal switch. I like that. I don't like it when I press a pedal and you can't feel when you've turned it on. That you can. Also, it features a bright blue LED light when it is engaged. So off, you can see it is clearly off. When it is on, you can see it's clearly on. Now, when you, and I know that sounds silly to emphasize it like that, but when you are on a stage or in a rehearsal room and it is dark for whatever reason, whether that be poor lighting, whether that be stage lighting, whether that be a moment where, I don't know, maybe there is a segment in your set where the lights drop, that means they just turn off. You want to see when your pedals are turned on. You want to see that. You want to see when they are engaged, when you don't accidentally switch something on, or when you've left something on by accident for a certain part of a song. So it's a really nice, handy thing to do, to have, just to see exactly what is on when it is on. Now, just let's go into a quick sort of thing. So what an envelope filter is, very briefly, for anybody who doesn't know the technical sort of talk behind it. So an envelope filter is a pedal or an effect that responds to the dynamics in your playing. What are dynamics? Super quick, they're just the volume in music. So basically whether you play a note loudly or softly, that kind of idea. So when you're playing a note quietly, you're normally hitting the string softer, and then when you're hitting a note loudly, you're normally hitting the string louder, in the case of guitar. Now, in general, with this little voice thing in the middle, which I was alluding to earlier, what this does is basically it will take the attack of the note and it will say, okay, if it's attacking it harder, it will basically go through, it will allow the note to sound out properly, or not properly, but as in it basically goes through what's called a high pass or a low pass filter. And then what happens is that as it kind of gets out, it sort of has this ballooning effect similar to a wah, which gets sort of like that wah. It's basically like your signal normally will have this really sort of like ooh sort of sound going through, and then as you then play louder, it will open the sound up, so to speak. Let me give you a demonstration, and I'll do this by just picking it up really lightly, but I'm going to do some tremolo picking so you can hear sort of like the effect as it blossoms, so you can really hear it in its full effect. And I'll do it with both. So I'm going to do it with a high pass filter first. So the note's going to sound really bassy because there's going to be basically no treble. And then as I play louder, the treble comes back in. And then when the low pass filter comes in, or the lower voice, what's going to happen is that you have all the highs, but then as I play louder, all the lows will come back in. So to give you some example, when I was playing the chords earlier, so when you heard the that was with the upper voice, that's with the upper pass. Okay, so the high pass filter, and then there's going to be like a jam probably at the end of the video where I do some soloing over the top of it. But what I did was I decided to use the lower voice to sort of emphasize that, so you can hear that sort of effect. I'll show you both now so you just hear them in isolation. But here we go. So we're going to go with the high pass filter. I've sixed both of the knobs, so just level and range both just at the top, pedal engaged, and the signal chain. Before we get started, actually, it's really important to do. Is guitar into pedal, and then into the Helix Stomp XL, which is emulating a Fender reverb with a tiny amount of spring reverb on it. So let me just play the pedal, so without the pedal engaged, just so you can hear the tone, just so you can hear there's no tomfoolery going on. It's just straight up, this is what the sound will be like. Here we go. So really sort of basic tone, okay? I think there might have been, I might have cranked this up on the effects, so it might have been, so on the actual stomps, so it's a little bit of like crunch value on there, as you can hear. So it's not like a purely clean tone, from what I remember. Sorry, it's, in the other videos I've been using like a purely clean one, but I think I'm messing around with this a little bit, this patch. But anyway, for the most part you can hear it's just basically a clean tone with a tiny amount of reverb on it, with a little bit of crunch, because I've just cranked it up. Anyway, popping this filter on, however, so you can sort of hear the effect as it sort of blossoms through. You can hear, like, if I pick, like, quickly but quietly, it has that sort of, like, that low, sort of, like, the treble's been cut off. And as I start to add a little bit more attack into the tremolo picking, you can hear that sort of that wah, that sort of that auto wah style effect. What I really like about this is that it's a lot more expressive than an auto wah, let's say, because most auto wahs like kind of like on a timer. And there's nothing wrong with that kind of thing. It's got a very, very similar effect to that, like, sort of like that sweeping, sort of like, and that filtering effect. Whereas with this, it's controlled by your dynamics. So if you want to play in a certain way and you want a certain note to sort of like pop, like a wah wah, then you can just do that by picking two notes really loudly. That's it. Now that was the high pass filter. Let me just show you the low pass filter, show you the opposite effect. So this time we're going to start with all of the highs, and then the lows will come in the louder we go. Now the cool thing about this is that it kind of makes the guitar sound super synthy, because the attack kind of like goes like this, you know, like so you hear like the lower parts of the frequencies, and then they sort of like immediately cut out. So what I liked to do with this one is if you crank the level all the way up to full with the low pass filter on, and you turn the range up a bit as well. So I've got like literally I've just put the level all the way up. And then for the range, I've sixed it and then gone over a slight amount, okay? Have a little listen to this, though. It makes the guitar sound like almost like a synth. It's great. So you can have a lot of fun with this pedal. It's a great one. I really enjoyed working with this pedal this time round. And yeah, I gotta say, all the DOD stuff that I've tried out so far has been really, really solid. You can pick these up from WM Guitars either online or in store for £105. Remember to like and subscribe and ring the notification bell to get notifications for when we bring out more videos, whether that be more demos or more gear reviews in general and more guitar reviews and just general updates on the shop. On top of that, please go check out other content. We've got a load of really cool content out there, including a few more DOD pedal demos within that range. I'd recommend going and checking those out because there's a couple of really, really cool ones that I've tried out so far, and I'm very much getting gas, or I guess pass in this case, pedal acquisition syndrome. So I will bid you all adieu. Have a great day, and that kind of idea. Pedal demo, getting gas. Hope you enjoy the video. See you next time. Bye.